It's okay. You're gonna listen in class. I'm gonna mute stream. How are you gonna mute stream and listen? It's okay. So this title is new DPS post patch tier list.
Play after the patch that's going.
Again, I'll say my disclaimer that I said in the last video. I do not agree of something called that is a best character, that is the best DPS, that is the best tank, that is the best support. There is nothing called like that. Okay?
Live on the 15th. Not only has the meta across ranks been more established, but because of all these.
Look, I have a feeling Soldier is gonna be up there. Just a heads up. All right, let's just say it.
These changes, we're gonna see some crazy movement with a lot of DPS characters. And in addition, based on Overwatch League stats, we know what the post-patch top level gameplay is, what DPS were picked at the highest level in the Overwatch League. But this tier list is not.
Oh my god, is this guy copying what the other guy was saying about the Overwatch League? Please do not take the Overwatch League as anything. It's a comp. People are playing together. It's a comp. It's a comp base. It's not a character base. Not like we're gonna pick the best.
Not going to be based purely from the top-down balance. Many tier lists like to just take whatever is played at top 500 or the pro level and put those as the best characters in the game, but that's not indicative of the average ranked experience. So some characters are going to be moved up the list if they have a special X factor that can make them a good pick to climb with. But
if your team is not playing comp well, if you're not 5 people on Discord, then it might not be those characters that will be the most efficient for you.
To the sponsor of this video, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid is a mobile turn-based strategy game with over 6.
I played this game a little bit, by the way. It was a fun game while it lasted. What's going on right now? Spam Blitz. Wait, what about New World? Not the New World game. I'm talking about World inside WoW. What is happening? I have no idea what is going on. What is going on? Chat. What is going on? Okay. I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Overwatch. Okay.
Champion Rector draft, 20,000.
You guys talk about something else? That's cool.
Silver, 1 energy refill, an XP boost. And
this is why we can't have nice things, dude. This is Pixie's sentence. That's why we can't have nice things. That's Raid. Yeah, that's I used to play that game. Yeah.
The links down below. And thanks Raid once again for sponsoring this video. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. Mills, didn't you make a video that said not to watch tier lists and not to follow the meta? I think it's important to understand what characters are strong and weak when they're played optimally and in certain situations, but do not take any tier list, including this one, as gospel.
Amen. I like this guy.
Can be grinded and played to and in Grandmaster. So keep that in mind before we get started. Now, first off,
I like this guy already.
And there's only one hero in the F tier, and it's Mei, because you can't select her because she's disabled.
Oh, okay. I was gonna go Rage and Bunkers right now if Mei is a bad DPS. I was gonna be so mad. Oh my god. But I'm glad that he clarified because Mei is not available
in the game. And the reality of the situation is there are no F or D tier heroes, because honestly, even the worst heroes in the game in the DPS role are still.
Don't follow tier list beside the tier list I make for clicks. Amen, brother. Amen. Content idea should be a compilation of misplaced title how not to play Overwatch. All right, fair enough. That's gonna be my next video then.
Viable in the right hands. And that's why we're going to start with the C tier. Now, there are 4 characters in the C tier. We have Mei, Sim, Junkrat, and Bastion. Now, this tier means that these characters can be pretty strong when you play them in the right comp.
He put a Junkrat in a tier C. He put a Junkrat in C. I don't know if I like him anymore. I don't think so.
Positions on the right maps, and they can be very strong if you play them with expertise. As an example, maps that have more narrow choke points that Junkrat can get value against is going to be typically better than maps that are much more wide open. Characters like Mei are going to go better against compositions that don't have as much mobility so that she can get more wall value. And Bastion is going to be a character that really fits with certain supports like Kiriko, Baptiste, or Mercy. That being said, on the flip side, some of these characters have pretty easy counters, especially if you don't know how to play around them correctly. Sim and Junkrat and Mei all have trouble with characters like Pharah. Junkrat and Bastion both struggle against a good D.Va, and especially after the Zarya nerfs, even though D.Va's getting...
Junkrat will have problems against D.Va. Probably, Sherry. Probably that's what he means. How is Junkrat will have trouble with D.Va? Dude, when I play Junkrat and I see a D.Va in front of me, I literally walk to her. I walk to her, throw my bomb, and explode it so I would be fucking away from her. Because D.Va ability has erased his shots with Matrix. Oh, you can do the same shit with Soldier, and everyone. No, I very much I understand how the D.Va works. So I'm saying, Junkrat is not a strong against D.Va. I highly disagree. Very much disagree.
nerfed as well. It's going to hit Zarya a lot worse, and with less Zarya play, D.Va becomes a much better pick, especially for ranked. So each of these characters are incredibly strong at doing certain things, but they also have very key targetable weaknesses, and it's really...
I swear to God, if they are in that set of hands of weapons, I'll Alt F4 uninstall and reinstall immediately. This is how the games goes, buddy.
Gonna be up to you whether or not you learn to master how to play against those weaknesses, because there are some players that have grinded a grandmaster with all of these characters and still play them in those ranks, so you can find that success. It's just gonna be a little bit tricky when you're being selectively targeted by characters that can and do want to shut you down. Now, the next category is actually the largest category. This is the B tier, and these are characters
Let's
that
go
have
B tier,
very strong
bitches
power,
tier.
but there are some characters that do what they do slightly better in some situations, or there are certain characters that are going to see a lot of play that actually hurt these characters or their play styles. Now, first off, let's talk about the three different ones in the B tier: Pharah, Torb, and Widowmaker. Now, we did talk about Pharah. Pharah is a character that has very, very polarizing matchups at times. There's characters that she can completely shut down. If the enemy is playing like a Genji Junkrat, for instance, on first point defense, you could swap to a Pharah Mercy and just shut that down. Pharah gets a ton of pick rate as well on control map.
You know what's crazy? He's calling Junkrat to be weak against D.Va. But Pharah, what? Is OP against D.Va. Dude, if you wanna counter Pharah, number one pick as a tank, pick D.Va. I am shocked that he gave Junkrat a tier C just because of the D.Va. And he's mentioning Pharah as a tier B, and hopefully he would mention D.Va. If he doesn't mention D.Va, I'm not believing this.
But
That's what I'm saying. Pharah is not good against D.Va. Like, if you want to counter Pharah, you play D.Va. Yet he's putting her B, and the Junkrat, the only reason he put Junkrat as a C lower tier is because of a D.Va. So we'll see.
Problem with Pharah is that she's not the easiest to solo queue climb with, and you need to be pretty good at Pharah. I think a lot of people just think you could just pick the character and even up against things you counter, you could do well with, but that's not always the case. A really poor Pharah leaves a ton of gaps to exploit, so you have to put in the time and effort to get good at her, but I do think that she's an amazing flex pick, and if you're someone that can get that consistent duo partner that will actually Pharah Mercy with you, then I think that you should put in substantial
Amen.
effort into grinding this character, because she can carry games, and it's just a great character to whip out.
One of the main issues when I play Pharah, I don't get that much heals
when you're up against those Junkrat and Sim mains or on Koth. Torb's a character that has some of the highest win rate in the lower ranks below Diamond.
Torb, let me just finish this. Okay, he's gonna say
out when you're up against those Junkrat and Sim mains or on Koth. Torb's a character that has some of the highest win rate in the lower ranks below Diamond, and he's actually one of the best characters to climb with, although I'm not entirely sure if that sets you up for success past the Diamond rank. But if your goal is to win a lot of the low rank games, Torb brings a ton of value, and his win rate reflects that.
Hey guys, I wonder why. I wonder why Torbjorn is the best has the best win rate in lower ranks. I don't know why. I'm thinking it's a very hard dilemma. I'm not sure why. I need help. All right, let's continue.
I personally know some people that were in low platinum and they one-trick Torb straight to high diamond with a huge win rate when they couldn't win on anything else. So that tells you a little bit about the potential power level of the character. Now, as you climb, Torb gets less and less effective as players get more disciplined up against Torb, but especially for, I would say, anything under Masters, Torb is definitely a solid pick, and I think that if you get really good at utilizing his turret and positioning properly where you don't get punished, you can get value out of Torb at any rank. Now, I did mention Widowmaker, and this is not in the order of B tier, by the way. All these characters are just in the B tier, so you could make an argument that Widow is higher in the B tier or lower, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Now, Widow is really, really powerful. She's a character that, in the right hands, can absolutely carry games, and she actually is a bit better in this 5v5 environment than she was in the 6v6 environment. That being said, if you're a player that gets really good at Widowmaker, or you practice Widowmaker at the low ranks, there's a couple of problems that you can run into. The first one is people don't peel for you at all. And if you are good at Widowmaker, two things are going to happen. They're going to send their tank and multiple divers after you, and you're going to get no peel. And you have to get enough value between the time that they are coming for you and the time they get to you. Or the enemy's going to swap Widow, and you're going to just have to Widow diff them. And oftentimes, a good Widowmaker wants the enemy to swap Widow.
I like that term, Widow dip them.
They would much rather that than have a damn wrecking ball that just goes and sits on them the entire game. But it can be frustrating to try to be someone that just mains Widow. I think that she's a great pick on maps like Junkertown, but you gotta actually have a flex pick that you kind of fall back to when things don't work out, especially if you're trying to grind through the lower and mid ranks. But of course, if you're absolutely super cracked at Widowmaker, then you could definitely make her work. Although there's some characters at the higher levels of play that really hurt Widowmaker, and especially when we're going to see more Reaper and Diva play, I would say that she only makes it towards the top of B tier because unfortunately there's another character that does similar things to Widowmaker, but is far less susceptible to dive and can fight at close range. Before we get to that though, let's talk about the last three.
This is the Dallas versus San Francisco, guys. For people that didn't see that earlier.
In the B tier, Soldier, Cassidy, and Hanzo. And all of
here you go, man. Soldier and Cassidy in the same rank.
These I'm kind of putting in the same group here. And you might be wondering, why?
Not to brag or anything, but you have to be bronze 5 in your chat right here. Hey, then you're in the right stream, my friend.
Well, each of these characters have their own strengths and weaknesses when compared to each other. Cassidy has a high amount of consistency in that mid to close range, and he can finish off close range targets. Hanzo has pick-off potential with information even from further ranges, and Soldier has individual sustain and mobility all wrapped in one. And each of these characters are all fine. I think if you're good with these characters, you can make them work, and they're going to be flexible in their application, dependent on your skill and dependent on the map. That being said, there is one character that is already in the S tier, spoiler alert, that is just strictly better, or at least potentially strictly better than all of these. Sojourn. Sojourn has better close range mobility. Sojourn has consistent close range damage and long range pickoffs. She combines a lot of the best aspects of all these characters.
You know, here's the interesting part though. So I played with Soldier and Sojourn. I do usually way better with Soldier than Sojourn. Soldier, I don't know. I feel like I die fast with Soldier. With Soldier, I feel like I'm sustaining a little bit more. Is it because of the heals? I don't know. Even the damage, I feel like I'm doing better with a Soldier. I know I'm not good at Soldier, but every time I watch someone playing Soldier, they're just fucking dominating. At least on those YouTube channels. I don't know. I think her dash and jump combined with that ray gun is probably definitely making her have the edge over Soldier.
And in her current state, if you
Soldier does everything Soldier does, but better. True. Even the right click for Soldier, which is a bomb, she has that ray gun, which is faster and stronger. This This isn't Call of Duty. So are they already? Not today. They're going to be raising on a 28th.
You get good at Sojourn, it's far better than getting good at Soldier, and it's far better than getting good at Cassidy or Hanzo or even Widowmaker. Sojourn is the character that you would rather be great at. That is why she's higher up on the list. That doesn't mean that you can't perform well with these characters, and that doesn't mean that you can't be a more effective Cassidy than a Sojourn, but from equal skill level and equal power level, Sojourn's just way too powerful when we're going into this patch where she's already the strongest
Powerful.
DPS, and she's not getting hit. Next up, we got to talk about the A tier. These are characters that are great in many situations, and if you master these characters, you're going to set yourself up for success going into this next patch. Now,
Yes, sir.
We do got to talk about Sombra. Sombra is getting a rather large nerf, and this means that Sombra is going to be a character that isn't going to be as capable of getting pickoffs like she once was. But the really, really effective parts of Sombra's kit are still intact, namely the fact that she can hack, shut down characters, and she has a very, very powerful ultimate. Also, she gets to scout for...
So that means Tracer is going to be there too.
Information. Sombra is going to be a great character to pick when you're trying to shut down characters like Hammond and Doomfist and really be disruptive on a team. If you have some teammates...
I wish I can be good at Sombra. I feel the maximum that I can do is being very effective at deactivating and try to do a couple damages and then leave. Every time I commit with Sombra to attack even more, they just look at me and I'm dead. That's how I feel when I play Sombra.
That can follow up your damage, follow up your hacks. She's still going to be great. However, I think that generally for solo queue, and especially as we get to the lower ranks, Sombra is not going to be as good. So you're going to have to kind of decide when to play her and where. Are there characters you can counter and shut down? Are there teammates that are going to follow you up? What is your...
Do you know how I know that this stream is a perfect nerd, people? That I'm talking about Overwatch and everyone is talking about World of Warcraft. Oh, I was reading the comments. Oh, are they talking about Overwatch? No. They're talking about World of Warcraft, which is fine, by the way. That's please keep talking about World of Warcraft. But it's just remind me of the South Park episode. That is not true. Priorities World of Warcraft.
Rank, and that's gonna all kind of tie in to dictate should you play Sombra or not. But because of that flexibility and utility, I'm still going to put her in the A tier a bet at the bottom. And especially because she's also unique. There's no other character that does what she does. And unlike characters like Soldier, Cassidy, and Hanzo that have a character that does something similar but better, Sombra is unique in what she is used for, and she's very, very strong at it. Next up on the list, we do got to talk about Echo. I think that Echo is one of the most underrated DPS on the...
You know what I was just going to say? I was like, I don't think Echo is that strong. And before I said that, he was like, Echo is the most underrated. Wait, Sojourn is S. He put her as S. No. Sojourn is S. She's S.
Entire roster. Echo's fantastic. And the cool thing about Echo is you can really adopt your playstyle.
You're multitasking. Okay, I see what you're doing there, Sherry. Now I understand.
Around your comp. You can play a ground Echo when you don't have that pocket and just poke a lot, build your ultimate, find key opportunities to go in with your beam. You can play a fly Echo that's much more like a Pharah, spamming from range, going for flanks and lurks and trying to burst someone down and then just beam them to death, get a quick kill and dip out. There's a lot you can do on Echo and plays that you can make on Echo. I think that a lot of people haven't properly learned Echo. I think I probably need to make an Echo guide. I've been asked for it a couple of times, but it's one of the most underrated.
I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, she's probably underrated. I don't agree that she's an A tier. No, she's not.
DPS period. And there's also the added benefit that Echo is one of the few DPS that can actually kill a tank. Like if Winston jumps in, you can break his bubble almost instantly with your beam and kill the Winston, or you can punish divas that are flying in. There's a lot to love about this character, and I think that Echo's primed to get even better post the nerfs. Next up in the A tier, we do got to talk about Genji. Now Genji is receiving...
You know what? I would have thought that they're gonna put here's what I thought the S tier would be: Soldier and Genji Reaper. That's what I thought.